These January days are growing colder. That makes this the perfect time for a dinner of beef stew with red wine to warm the heart and soul. And as Christmastide draws to a close, perhaps you've decided it's time to move away from rich holiday foods. You probably want to get back to a healthier way of eating. Today, Chef Blondie will show you a recipe by Jacques Pépin that's just what you need to get started. It's both warming and healthy.
Hello, my friends. Chef Blondie here. All of us at the soon-to-be world-famous Serendipity Farmhouse Test Kitchen greatly enjoyed our Christmas and New Year's feasts. They were delicious. But you know what? Now it's time to start eating healthy again. And that's why I've chosen this recipe from Jacques' Simple and Healthy Cooking. While this recipe isn't all that simple, it certainly is healthy. And it sure is tasty. It was delicious. It's more than worth the extra effort. And I know you can do it. As usual, Jacques not only gives us a great recipe, he also shows us ways to make it healthier. And we all need healthier food. He does this by reducing the amount of fat and salt. And at the same time, he compensates by increasing flavor and aroma. So let's gather our mise en place and see how he does it. The original recipe appears on page 201 of the cookbook, Jacques Pépin's Simple and Healthy Cooking. His introduction to the book says it all. To all cooks who believe, as I do, that good cooking and good health are inseparable. Happy cooking. Here was the question I had to answer. How do you make beef stew healthier? To answer the question, I gave my hubby a research assignment. I asked him to determine just exactly what did Jacques do to make his beef with red wine recipe healthier than his well-known beef stew in red wine sauce. After he muttered under his breath, scratched his sweet balding head, shrugged his shoulders a couple of times, my reluctant hubby got to work. Here's what he found. Jacques thoughtfully eliminated ingredients that were high in fat and carbohydrates. He reduced the quantity of other ingredients. For example, he cut the amount of extra virgin olive oil in half. His recipe only used 1.5 cups of wine instead of a whole bottle. Wherever possible, he reduced sodium levels. Then, to make up for the deletions, he added more aromatic herbs and vegetables. Oh my goodness. Grab a spoon. The result of his recipe modifications was a beef stew with spectacular flavor and aroma. Jacques doesn't say so directly, but he uses a simple technique to enhance the aroma and flavor of this beef stew. How does he do it? The beef is stewed gently in chicken stock in red wine flavored with a bouquet garni. A bouquet garni, or garnished bouquet, is a bundle of aromatic herbs that is used to add flavor to soups, stews, sauces, and other dishes. Jacques says that it's best to use meat from the shoulder blade for the shank. That's because it's moist even when most of the fat has been removed. Remember, Jacques' objective was to make this dish healthier. We used stew meat from a well-trimmed chuck roast, cut into 1.5 to 2-inch cubes. Oh, I'm happy. Now that we've learned some of Jacques' techniques for healthier cooking, here is his recipe as adapted and tested by the SFH Test Kitchen. To make our bouquet garni, we followed Jacques' instructions using a string to tie together a bundle of herbs consisting of 4 or 5 sprigs of fresh thyme, 3 bay leaves, a small bunch of fresh parsley, a half stalk of celery, and a few sprigs of rosemary and oregano. Brush a large nonstick pan with a half tablespoon of the oil and place it over high heat. When the oil is hot, add about half the meat and brown it on all sides for 5 minutes. Remove the pieces of meat with tongs and place them in a Dutch oven. Add 1/2 cup of the stock or broth to the pan. Swirl the liquid in the pan to release any cooking juices. Pour this deglazing liquid into a small bowl. Repeat this procedure with the remaining oil, meat, and stock or broth. Add the meat to the Dutch oven and the deglazing liquid to the bowl. To the meat in the Dutch oven, add the wine, chopped onions, garlic, salt, pepper, bouquet garni, and the reserved deglazing liquid. Mix well. Bring the mixture to a strong boil over high heat. Reduce the heat to low. Cover and boil very gently for 1¼ hours. Add the mushrooms, carrots, and pearl onions to the Dutch oven, moving the meat in the pan with tongs to make room for the vegetables. Bring the mixture back to a boil, reduce the heat to low, cover and boil very gently for 15 minutes. Remove and discard the bouquet garni. In a small bowl, dissolve the cornstarch and the soy sauce and water. Stir into the stew. Add the peas. Bring the stew back to a boil. To serve, divide the meat and vegetables among 4 plates. Garnish each serving with a little bit of the chopped parsley. Happy cooking! All right, my good friends, shall we give this a try? First, let's just taste some of the broth in the sauce here. You're gonna love it. Oh my goodness. Jacques does it again. It was worth the effort. Oh my, let's try some of this beautiful meat. Mmm. So tender, so very tender. Anyway, my friends, Happy New Year and happy cooking.